What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle, and today we're talking about what needs to be fixed in terms of FIFA gameplay. If this is a video that you've been requesting, take a second, drop a thumbs up. If you agree with some of the points that I'm making, maybe all of the points that I'm making, share it around, get in the comments, hit the like button. All of that plays a part in the YouTube algorithm. You want EA to see this, you can help contribute to that process. And I do want to address something because obviously most of you have seen me working EA events. That doesn't mean I'm unable to have an opinion or to look at something objectively and talk about what needs to improve. That doesn't mean that I don't provide feedback to EA Sports the same way you guys do at home. That doesn't mean that I don't listen to what you have to say, whether it's your tweets, whether it's us on live streams. So let's talk about my top 5 gameplay improvements. If you were the EA commissioner, give me your top 5 down below in the comments. Number 1, we need the return of manual defending. I would like to see the elimination of the contain button. I don't think it's good for casual players, and I don't think it's good for competitive players. On the casual end, less AI defending, less AI assistance means you're going to see more goals, which is fun, even between casual player and casual player. And in the competitive scene, skill gaps are going to increase as you have to move more of your players manually, because you just have to do more on your own, and that also rewards people that are putting in additional time. In my opinion, we will always have players that are dropping back and looking to counterattack. That's never going to change in FIFA. However, EA can make a shift where you have less AI interceptions, less AI automatic blocks. You can remove or reduce the effectiveness of the contain button. Blindlessly crowding the box or the edge of the box should not be an effective way of playing defense. It should not allow you to get victories. That's just not a good structure. That's not a good format, and it doesn't need to be rewarded. You can't get mad at players abusing this meta. I just need there to be a little more give and take, a little more balance, and it's got to be more manual. If you go back to some of the pre-Frostbite titles, when you're looking at the FIFA 15 or the FIFA 14 and 13 and so forth and so on, a major factor to why those titles or those installments are looked at with such positive, nostalgic energy. It starts with faster gameplay, and it did feel like a video game. I will say the current state of FIFA might be a better simulation, but is it more fun? That's a completely different debate. The point I'm making is the AI does way too much on the defensive end in the current build, especially if esports is a major initiative. Number 2, we need punishment for errors. I need people to be punished when they make mistakes. Just like if you do something dumb in school, your parents, they're probably going to discipline you when you get home. There was an action and there was a consequence. And I feel like often in FIFA, too many error passes get rewarded or end up becoming nutmegs, or they get bounce backs, and the attacking player gets a second chance or even a third chance, and that shouldn't happen. We don't need that. Number 3, balance with RNG. And if you don't know what RNG stands for, we're looking at random number generator. And this is where you're dealing specifically with the rebounds, the bounce backs, the interceptions that don't necessarily go in your favor, even the YOLO-esque crosses or the corner kicks. And the best way to combat RNG is to put more money into the game, and that's where you have that pay-to-win concept. As much as you should receive some benefits for building a better squad, it shouldn't define the experience. It shouldn't define the gameplay. RNG has become the factor that influences matches. Whether you win or you lose, it doesn't feel as if you decided the outcomes of those matches. I call it how I see it. That's a concern, major concern. Number 4, we need smarter artificial intelligence, smarter AI, both offensively and defensively. And we've seen a lot of patches in FIFA 19, and I feel in the current state that the offensive support seems a little bit messed up. Your players aren't making the natural runs or making those triangles that you would naturally see if you're watching football on TV, knowing when to support, how to make those overlapping runs. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have to trigger players to make runs, but they've got to understand, hey, there's a lot of space in behind. Can you please attack that space? There's a lot of space over there on the wing. I'm triggering you. Go to the wing or go to the middle of the pitch. Or how to open up lanes. Even though it's a virtual pitch, it's a video game, we need to have that resemblance, that correlation to real football in terms of how you go forward, how you attack. If you want that true flow, the rhythm, the tiki-taka, the beautiful game, let's also be fair to EA. I don't think it's that easy of a fix to find the correct mix between video game and simulation. But with that being said, on the defensive side of the pitch, I just need some consistency. Have you ever felt like your fullbacks are stepping for no reason? You have them on stay back and you're watching them just run forward, just sprint forward. Then the next possession, they're sit back. Following possession, they're sprinting forward again. It just feels as if the player positioning is unreliable. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. Just unreliable. I can't build expectations of where my defense or my midfield is necessarily going to be. Have you ever experienced the midfield that's just walking, just chilling, just hanging out? Maxing, relaxing. What's the deal? My guy's got high work rates. He should be moving around one way or the other. And I want to have structure. I'm setting up this squad so I can have that reliability with these tactics and these instructions and my style of play. And sometimes it looks normal and it works. And then in other situations, I feel like none of my tactics were even taken into consideration. And I'm questioning what's going on. Why are guys out of position all of a sudden in this sequence of events versus the previous sequence of events? Does that make sense? I should be able to replicate similarity if I've got the same tactics and instructions and the lineup and the formation and so forth and so on. But offensively and defensively, the AI, just tough one to read. Number 5, and this definitely applies more so to FIFA 19 than the majority of previous installments, but you work so hard to create opportunities inside the box, and then the goalkeeper makes a save. Or you do have one of those AI auto blocks or an AI automatic slide tackle. Something gets in the way, you hit the post, your shot goes wide even if you timed it green, and you just sit back and evaluate the gameplay and you think to yourself, finishing needs to be more rewarding. I worked so hard to get into this position. I've got to be able to tuck this away. And no matter what, we're probably going to complain a little bit about finishing every year. And we'll probably complain about goalkeepers every year. It's not going to be perfect, and it's never going to be universal. But this year in particular, the amount of breakaways or clear-cut chances that I miss, and when I watch the replays, it clearly displays what I chose to do on that virtual pitch and what happened don't align. They don't match up. Those are my top 5 gameplay changes that I would like to see implemented, whether it's this year or it's going forward into next year. And the word that constantly comes up in conversation for me when I think about a good title, whether it's FIFA, whether it's Fortnite or Call of Duty or Counter-Strike or Street Fighter or Tekken, whatever games you enjoy playing, is balance. In the years that EA has got the balance right, we glorify. And then the years where it just seems offsetting is when the community's clearly been more vocal in terms of their displeasure. But I wanted to make this video so we could cover some of the issues and also provide feedback to EA from the community versus when you tweet, I don't like this game. But that doesn't provide EA any feedback that they're able to build off of and make those improvements. And you also have to remember, every time that you shift gameplay, it never just shifts one part or one portion of the game. Never. Anytime there's been a patch and it was to address this, and this, there's always that, and that have also been shifted or changed or affected from that patch. And I don't know if that's ever going to be different. I just feel like there's always a strong cause and effect. Let's talk about it in the comments, and I have a lot more content coming for you ASAP.